they are not moving it there itself. So everything is moved to a different place. And so it can be also threefold, right? The threefold can be in different ways also. So you can have actually multiple number of threefold symmetries in the same crystal. Like here you see this is a threefold, and this threefold is slightly different from this threefold, and this is slightly different from this threefold. They are all parallel to each other, right? So you can have multiple combinations, and you can also have multiple rotational axes, threefold and twofold, or fourfold and twofold in different axes. So you can have different symmetries depending on the crystal system. So here it is simple translation. So if you take this and then translate it, you just add them just by simply translating, right? Here what is this? So here the face is in the top, and then here what, right? So this is an inversion. Okay. So this is a inversion relationship. When you do the inversion, are you changing the handedness? Are we changing the handedness when we do inversion? Suppose if you have R, if I invert through a point, am I changing the handedness? Does it become S? Right? You will change the handedness. Isn't it? You will change the handedness when you invert something. So mirror plane is very simple. Suppose if I have a pattern, so then I put two mirrors, then I basically have higher symmetry here. So this is actually inverse mirror symmetry. So I can also generate the point just by considering the mirror symmetry. Then I have another. If I put another mirror here, then I can go on generating the molecules in this direction, and then I can also have another mirror here, and then I can go on generating the atoms in this direction. So I can go on doing this in different directions. Depending on the crystal system, then you would see these mirror planes in different orientations with other combinations. Okay, so when we have mirror symmetry, are we changing the handedness again? Right? We change the handedness. Suppose if we have R, then we will have S. So why do we need to worry about the handedness? Suppose if you have proteins, right? All the natural proteins are naturally pure. So that means in pure protein structures, we cannot have inversion, we cannot have mirror symmetry, right? We cannot have mirror symmetry, and we cannot have inversions. So we will have space groups or symmetry elements in proteins without these symmetry elements. So that is the point that I am trying to make. So this is just comparison between the mirror and inversion. So here simply you are reflecting, so here you are actually inverting, and you are changing the handedness in both the cases. And then square axis is again is a combination of rotation and then translation. Suppose if I take something and then I have an axis here, so what I do is I just rotate it 180 and then translate it to some extent. Like normally it is defined either half the unit cell or 2/3 of the unit cell or 1/4 of the unit cell, depending on your rotational axis. Okay, so this is actually called skew axis, and so I'll just skip this. Suppose if you see this, so this is 3-1 skew axis. When you have 3-1 skew axis, you show the 3 and then 1 here. So what does this mean? So you have a point here. So I rotate it by 120. Okay, I rotate it by 120, something like this, and then translate it by 1/3 of the unit cell. 1/3 of the unit cell is translation. Then again I do the 120 and then translate it 1/3. Then I can do it again and then 1/3. So this is actually called 3-1 skew axis. So suppose if I take the 3-2 skew axis, the rotation is same 120, but the translation is 2/3. Okay, so the translation is different here. So then you can also have 4/4. Okay, suppose if I say 4-1, that means what should I do? What is the rotation? 360 by 4, 90. So then I rotate 90, then 1/4 of the unit cell translation. Then again I rotate 90, then again translate, again 90. So you have different skew axes. So you will commonly see these in the crystal structure. So you can also have glide. Glide is nothing but the translation and then reflection through a mirror. Okay, suppose if I take something like this, I translate it and then I with the mirror symmetry, so then I basically come here. So this is light plane. So you will see all these in the crystal structures. So these are different crystal systems. So we have 7 crystal systems. The unit cell lengths can be equal if all equal and then all the angles are 90, then you call it as cubic. And then you have tetragonal, and then depending on the unit cell lengths and axis, you can change them. You can actually classify them into 7 crystal systems. Then again, in these 7 crystal systems, in each one, you can actually put the molecules or constituents in different ways. Suppose if you see here, so this is a simple primitive unit cell. You have the points on all the corners. So this is a simple primitive unit cell. So you can also put the points on the faces. Okay, not only on the corners, you can also put the points on the faces. Suppose if I have a face here, face of the box, so I can actually put the atom on the face, half inside and half outside. So then I can put it on all the faces. So this is actually called face center. I can also put a point exactly in the middle and then have points on all the corners. So I have 3 different possibilities. So similarly, you have different possibilities for different crystal systems. So these are well defined. You can't have in any combination. Depending on the symmetries, you have some restrictions. So geometrical restrictions. Based on that, you can actually have 14 Gravis lattices. Okay. So these 7 are now into 14. So these are different types of symmetry. So we are not going into all these details. So then I will show you how this diffraction actually works on the instrument. I'll show you just a simple video.
First, you need to recrystallize your sample. You don't have to, but you probably should. And then select crystal tools. You'll usually do this under a polarizing microscope, where pure crystals will
You select the crystals under a microscope, you pick the proper crystals, and then you have to put this on the instrument.
Once you've selected your crystal, you need to mount it on a pin, thin glass thread, which is frustratingly fragile. The first 2 I used, I broke. So to do this, you'll want to have mounted your crystals on a slide in parity. A viscous glycerol-like liquid, which makes isolating the crystal easier. Having selected your crystal, you should transfer it into wax, seen here on the end of the microscope slide. The wax makes sticking the crystal right on the tip of the pin far easier. Once done, mount the crystal and then in this case, from the blue nozzle, and center the crystal in the X-ray beam.
You have to make sure that it sits in the middle of the beam.
Out how to run split screen in my editing software. So you'll just have to watch the crystal's movements and my adjustments one after another.
This is called centering.
There, now it's centered. So now that you have your crystal mounted, you need to determine a unit cell. And this is done by collecting preliminary diffraction data, often referred to as the matrix run. This only takes a matter of minutes, and it's worth noting that the matrix calculation is only a minor part of this step, and the matrix is only for converting the crystal's unit cell axes in space relative to the X-ray beam to the unit cell axes we see on our screens. What it actually produces is something like this. However, I shall try to describe it in 2 dimensions. The reason that this preliminary run can be so fast is because the position of a spot is relatively easily predicted once you have the first 2 or 3. For example, if your first 3 spots are these black ones, then you predict that the remaining spots will be where these green ones are, and you can send the detector out to check. This may give you a unit cell that looks like this. However, it's worth noting that in this preliminary unit cell determination, any axis h, k, or l of your cell could be an integer value of the actual parameter, and you've just found a set of unit cells. For example, if this orange spot were a missed spot, and this red spot a systematic absence. And all of a sudden, red spots appear at these positions, and orange spots at these. Of course, the red spots are absences, so you actually get spots at these purple points. This would mean that the unit cell you calculated is 8 times too small, and the actual unit cell is this green one. They are, however, the same unit cell, just different sizes. It's worth noting that these preliminary unit cell parameters only tend...
So what was the last part? Why would there be a difference in the unit cell size? The measure of the
See,
unit cell size
we have to take the unit cell which is with the highest possible symmetry. Okay, you can have different possibilities. What you try to do is you try to take the unit cell which has highest symmetry, not the size. You worry about the highest symmetry, so that will give you much more accurate information and you will much more less data. Okay, so that is the reason this was just to compare different options. So you suppose if you have a cubic system, so you can easily solve that in the triclinic system, but the other way around is not possible. So here I'm not going to discuss about the X-rays versus neutrons. So, but to quickly tell you, from X-ray diffraction, we are actually probing the position of electrons. So, in the neutron diffraction, what happens is these neutrons are diffracted from the nucleus. So, okay, so you will know the position of the. Suppose if you take the proton, position of the proton. So, if you want to identify the position of lighter atoms, particularly, so you will have very less number of electrons, and that too, if it is bound to a oxygen, then the electron distribution is completely distorted, right? So you will not know exact position of the hydrogen if you are probing with the X-rays, because you are only looking at the electron density. So that is completely distorted. Suppose if you use the neutrons, then the nucleus is basically in the right position. So the neutron will give you much more accurate information for the lighter atom. So that is what I wanted to say here, but since we don't have much time, I will not cover this in detail. So another thing is about the crystal growth. I hope all of you know how we grow the crystals. What normally we do is we, if it is organic crystal, simply we dissolve the compounds and then make a saturated solution, and we can heat it if the compound is not soluble to make it highly saturated. So then you cool it down slowly. Then when the solvent starts evaporating or with the cooling, if the solubility decreases, then the material starts depositing. Okay, so that if you do it very slowly, then material crystallizes into crystals. So, but I have a video, but I am not going to show this.
Crystal?
But I would like to ask you how big crystals can we grow. So we can grow crystals into different sizes, right? What are the biggest crystals that we know? So I want to show this video to you. It's really amazing. So you will see how big we can actually have the crystals.
Hi, this is Randy Clark. Today we're going to explore one of the most incredible caves in the entire world. In fact, this cave is very much like one of the caves that we've all seen in the movies in Hollywood. The movie Superman, several of the movies you'll see scenes in this crystal cave where Superman has this unbelievable information that's inside the crystals. Well, there actually is a crystal cave that's very much like the movies. It's in Mexico. It's on the plateau near Chihuahua, Mexico, and it's about 1,000 feet underground. So you really have to travel 1,000 feet underground just to find this cavern. But when you get down there, you will find the most incredible pieces of crystal that you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, we're talking gigantic sized pillars of crystal. And this is selenite crystal. Incredible. I mean, the views that you get inside this cavern are just absolutely spectacular. You'll see some of these crystal pillars that are so huge that it's just absolutely mind-boggling when you think of the weight, because some of these are as much as 55 tons. And to think that these all started from literally a crystal that was the size of a grain of salt and grew for 500,000 years in this cavern. Now, this main cavern here is just incredible. I mean, some of these are over 3 stories tall. I mean, this is just incredible to imagine what it would be like inside this cavern to take a look at these crystals. And just unbelievable. They're all over the place, and they go in virtually every direction of the cave. Some are growing, sideways. Some are growing up into the ceiling. Some are growing from the ceiling down into the ground. Now, this is one of the offshoots here. This is a little cave that's inside the main cavern, nearby the main cavern where those crystals are. This is called the Cave of Swords. And it literally is, it looks like thousands of swords coming out of the walls in this little cave. So incredible sight there. But these crystals are absolutely, incredible in terms of the size, because there's no crystals on Earth that even compare to the size of the crystals that are inside this cavern. I mean, you clearly see this looks like ice cubes, but these are real crystal and just incredible. The quality of the crystal in some of the areas here is just off the charts, and the size is just monumental when you look at this. Just incredible to think that humans are now taking a look at this, because this is a very hostile environment where this is located. Again, it's 1,000 feet underground. And in this location, the average temperature is about 122 degrees. And on top of that, this whole environment here in this cavern was underwater. So literally, this is a very hostile environment. Everyone has to suit up in special suits. You can walk around in your normal clothes, but you can only handle the heat for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then you better be getting back into the cool environments. So they have to suit up. Everyone has to be monitored, and everyone's watched to make sure that that they keep their core temperature down at a relatively cool temperature for the area. But these are just incredible pieces of crystal. Again, selenite crystal. Some of these things are absolutely gigantic in size, again, and they're very unique in terms of they're sharp. I mean, you literally fall on one of these crystals, you could literally cut yourself. They're razor sharp in certain areas. So the bottom line is, you have these huge, giant crystals in this cavern that was discovered in 2000. It was only discovered about 13 years ago. In 2007, they came in and did an exploration, and then again in 2010. Now, this entire cave was underwater, whole cavern, and they had to pump out all the water just to take a look at this stuff. They have pumps that pump out 1 million gallons of water per hour. So the bottom line is, you have these incredible crystals in this cavern. They're underground, 1,000 feet under the earth in Mexico, and today, I believe it's all underwater. I'm not 100% sure, but from what I can gather, they probably turned off the pumps, and I'm sure this whole thing is filled up again unless they're exploring it again. But from what I understand, they were not going to be doing any explorations after that last expedition in 2010. But incredible story, incredible crystals. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.
Don't complain that you can't grow the bigger crystal. Okay? So here the main take-home message from this video is, so if you give enough time to the crystals, actually we can grow very big crystals.
Not as much as 500,000 years.
So we can't wait, but we are not looking for that big crystal for XRD, right? I think in our lifetimes we should be able to crystallize any crystal that we are interested in. Okay, so thank you very much, and if you have any questions.
There was one matrix in the previous video you showed about that age character and XYZ. Can you please tell me the physical interpretation of XYZ?
See, ABC is the length of the unit cell. XYZ is Cartesian coordinates. Okay, so
Just only those Cartesian coordinates. I want to know that in our shape we have similar XYZ and all those things. And I don't know actually what does that mean.
no, see, when you define the unit cell, you say the length of the axis, B axis, and C axis. Suppose if I have an atom in some particular position within the unit cell, so then I describe the position coordinates by XYZ. Okay? Okay, so in the a-axis, like if it is